In this rather more advanced acoustic guitar lesson, I'm going to show you how you can take your playing of Take Me Home Country Roads to the next level. Now we're going to look at how we can alternate bass strings when we're strumming, how we can put our pick to one side and use our thumb and our index finger to play the song, how we can build in hammer-ons on our bass notes, and how we can do run-ups and run-downs in the bass to connect the different chords that we play. Now the lesson does assume that you already know the chords to the song and that you know a basic strumming pattern as well. If you don't know, don't worry, because I do have an easy guitar lesson for Country Roads and I'll put a link to that in a pinned comment, so look at the top of the comments section for that link. But assuming you do know those things, let's dive straight in. We'll start by looking at how you can pick out individual bass strings playing with your pick. In the easy Country Roads guitar lesson, I showed you a simple down, 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 up, down strumming pattern, and it sounded like this. So that's okay, but you know, that can definitely be improved. And what we're going to do now is look at how we can improve it, focusing on the verse of Country Roads to learn these new techniques. Now I have got a capo at the 2nd fret, by the way, if you want to follow along, so bear that in mind. The first thing we're going to do is to look at how we can build in alternating bass notes into that strumming pattern. Now what we're going to do here is we're going to play a single bass note on the first downstroke and another single bass note on the 3rd downstroke. And I'll demonstrate how this will sound for you and then I'll show you how to do it. So here's the demo. Okay, well, what was I doing there? So let's start with that G chord, the first chord of the verse. And what we do is the first bass note we play usually is the root note of the chord. Now the root note of a G obviously is the G note itself, and that's on the 6th string at the 3rd fret, ignoring the capo of course. So we play that 6th string first. That's the root G note. Then we do a down stroke focusing on the 3 treble strings 3, 2 and 1. Then we play our alternating bass note, which will be the 5th string, and then on the 3 treble strings we do an up down. So on that G chord we have 6th string down, 5th string up down. When we move down to the E minor chord on the right hand, we do exactly the same thing. 6th string, again, that is the note of E at the open 6th string. So it's the root note of the chord. And then a downstroke on those 3 treble strings. Then we play the 5th string in the bass and then an up down. So we're always playing our root note of the chord as our first bass note on the first down, then there's another down on the 3 treble strings, then we play our alternating bass note, and then there's another up down on the treble strings. When we get to the D major chord, well, the root there is D, which is the open 4th string, so this time the 4th string will be our first bass note, then our down on the treble strings, and then we'll alternate by playing the 5th string in the bass and then an up down in the treble. Now when we get to the C major chord, we have a choice. The root note will be the 5th string, because the 5th string 3rd fret, where my little finger is the note of C. So that'll be the first bass note, and then we'll do our normal downstroke on the 3 treble strings. But our alternating bass note can be either the 4th string or it could be the 6th string. Either will work. So you can alternate 5th string with 4th like this, or you can alternate the 5th string with the 6th string like this. Either of those works just fine. Now when I'm playing alternating bass notes like that in a chord, I like to put my pick to one side and use my thumb and my index finger. So what I tend to do is pick out the bass notes with my thumb, and I tend to use the side of my thumb, this part, and I use my index finger to play the treble strings. So like this. Put that together and you have this. Almost heaven, West Virginia. The next thing we're going to build into your playing is some hammer-ons. And these will be on the bass notes, and generally we'll put them in on the second bass note of a pattern. So remember, your pattern is using the G chord as an example. Pick the 6th string, your first bass note with your thumb, then a downstroke on the index finger, and then normally you play the 5th string with your thumb. And in fact, you're still going to do that, but this time you're going to take your middle finger off of the 5th string so it's open. You're going to play it open, and then you're going to hammer your middle finger back onto that 2nd fret on the 5th string. And then it's knocked down with your index finger. So we have this. Now when we go down to the E minor, actually it's exactly the same. Play the 6th string with your thumb, downstroke with your index finger, take your middle finger off the 5th string, play it and hammer on to the 2nd fret, and then up down with your index finger. When you get to the D, play the note of D on the 4th string open with your thumb, do your downstroke with your index finger, and again we're going to hammer onto that 5th string open and then hammering onto the 2nd fret. When you get to the C, play the 5th string with your thumb, that's your first bass note, and then take your middle finger off of the 4th string this time and hammer it back onto the 2nd fret, 4th string. So put that all together and we have this. Next we're going to look at building some walk downs and walk ups into our bass line to connect the different chords we're playing. Now, in Country Roads, ignoring the capo of course, the first chord we're playing is a G, and the second one is an E minor. And the root bass note on the G is the note of G, which is at the 3rd fret on the 6th string. And the root bass note of E minor is an E, which is at the open fret on the 6th string. So we're going from 3rd fret to open, and we're going to get there by way of the 2nd fret, which is an F sharp. So we want to do this in our walk down. 3rd fret, 2nd fret, open. G, F sharp, E. Now in the context of the chord pattern, this is how it'll sound. Okay, so what was I doing there exactly? Well, on the G chord, I was playing the pattern as normal once, and then the second time through, I was changing things. So, the second time through on that G chord, I'm still going to play the 6th string with my thumb as normal. I would then usually just do a downstroke with my index finger, but this time I'm going to do a down up. And on the up, I'm going to see if I can just catch that top string, might catch a bit of the second string too, which is fine. After that, we're going to play 3 bass notes in a row with our thumb, all on the 6th string. We're going to play 3rd fret, 2nd fret, and then open. So G, F sharp, and E. Now when we play the first of those 3 notes, the 3rd fret, the G, our left hand is in the chord shape of G. We're going to move our ring finger off and put our middle finger onto the 2nd fret, 6th string. And then before we play that open 6th string, we're going to move our left hand into the E minor chord shape, because that first bass note there, that open E, is the first note of our E minor chord pattern. So to put that all together, we have this. And that is our walk down, connecting our G major to our E minor. Okay, let's do a walk up now to the C major chord. And this time we're going to walk up on the 5th string, and we're going to play again 3 notes, all with our thumb on the 5th string. We're going to start with the 5th string open, which will be the note of A, ignoring the capo of course. Then we're going to play the 2nd fret, 5th string with our middle fingers, that's the note of B. And then we're going to play the 3rd fret on the 5th string with our ring fingers, and at the same time we're going to assume the position of the C chord with our left hand, and that 3rd fret is the note of C. So it's the root of the C chord. So we're going open, 2nd fret, 3rd fret, and that's our walk up. Let's put that walk up into context then. Well, the chord before the C major is actually a D major, and we're going to do one regular pattern on that. And then the second time again, it's going to be a little bit different. So we'll play the 4th string as normal in the bass. And again, just as we did with that G chord, by the way, we're going to do a down up rather than just a down. And then we've got our 3-note run up to the C. And then when we hit the C at the 3rd fret of the 5th string, that's the first note of our normal pattern for C. So in context, it's like this. So now your version of Country Roads has got hammer-ons in it, and it's got walk downs, and it's got walk ups. So our bass is much more interesting than it was. So it should sound a little bit like this. Although I've used the chords to the verse to show you these new techniques, you'll find that they'll work equally well on the chorus and on the bridge. Many of the chords are the same, and you can also use them of course on other songs too, so do experiment. These techniques are transferable. Try them in different parts of this song and try them in different songs. Thank you very much for learning Country Roads with me. I hope you enjoyed it, and if you did, please do subscribe to the channel, because then you'll be notified about all of the new guitar lessons as they come out, and also about the acoustic covers that I produce, which is something else that I do. And there is actually a cover of Country Roads that I've done. I'll put a link to it in a pinned comment, and you'll find that at the top of the comment section. So please go and have a listen to my cover of Country Roads and let me know if you like it.